is live.
Here we go. There I am. Let's wait for some people to join. That's better.
Christina's on.
Hello.
Christina says hi, Mel.
Hi, Christina. Just going to wait for a couple more to join and then I'll get started. You can see my tummy. So you're going to see it regardless, it doesn't matter.
That looks a bit better anyway.
Just getting the camera angle right and trying to hide my tummy.
And she just shared it. Evelyn's come on.
Okay. Do you want me, shall I wait for a couple more or shall I get going?
It's only been 1 minute.
And we'll leave it another minute or so. How is everyone tonight?
Michelle says hi, Mel.
Hi, Michelle.
Christina says she's tired.
Oh, well, you've been really busy. That's really good news, Christina, about your other two ladies joining up with you. Okay. Well, shall I make a start? I'm doing glitter tonight and I'm going to be doing it in a few different ways. Some of it, you know, it's really basic stuff again. Just showing people different ways of how to use glitter with gel polish and acrylic. So, yeah, so we'll get started. So I've painted 3 tips already with a pink. Daughter Rosie chose my pink. Okay, and we're first going to be using a chunky glitter on top of gel polish. Right, and the reason I'm showing you this is so I can show you how to make it as flat as possible without it being too lumpy. You know, because chunky glitter can be lumpy. Okay, so I've put 2 coats on, and what I do is I always then put a base coat on.
Naz says hello.
Hello.
Christina says she loves your nails, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Not very good fun trying to do it left-handed, I have to say.
And Debbie says hi.
Hello, Debbie. Right, I'm just blitzing that base coat.
And Lee says hi, Melly.
Oh, my hubby's watching.
And Christina went, oh, thank you, I'm delighted. Yes, I can't wait to see what you're doing.
Yeah, as I say, it's really basic. But lots of us, when we first start out, struggle with this quite a lot. We all see these pretty things and don't always know how to do it, when it can be quite a simple thing to do.
Lee says nice nails.
Thanks, Lee. Okay, right, so I've top coated the first nail, base coated the first nail, and I'm going to use a chunky glitter. I'm just using a brush and I'm just patting it on. It's a little bit messy, but I use the base coat because it's tackier. And obviously you can do more than one coat. Right, so there's two things that I can do. Okay, you know the flappy bit, can we see that? Your tab bit out of your forms. Okay, put your finger on the sticky side and then using the back of the form, you can pat it down. Okay, like that. That's how I was originally first shown. Okay, I'm going to put a bit more base coat on. You see, 'cause it's flatter, it looks flatter now. Remember always to wipe your brush so you don't contaminate your polish bottles. Bit more base coat. Okay, let me just blitz that. Does anybody use glitter with gel polish? I tend to avoid the chunkies if I can.
You've got 15 people watching.
Okay, and then I want more coverage, so I just repeat the process. See, in doing it this way, you get a pretty even coverage and flat, because a lot of customers will go, but my nails are lumpy. So another way of flattening it is using a bit of cling film. Obviously it's easier if you've got a finger rather than a tip, and you just press it down. Okay,
Michelle says she always does.
and then with your top coat, and you can just top coat it.
How long do you dry it for?
30 seconds in my lamp. I've got a combi lamp. You know, so stick to the settings for your own lamps or your own polish that you're using. I always give my top coat, my final top coat, 60 seconds. See, that's a pretty well covered nail. Move that one out of the way. Clean my brush. Okay, use my hands like I always do. You're not supposed to use your hands, use tissue or baby wipes. I'm a baby wipe fan. Okay, so that's the first one, really basic. Okay, I'm going to put a bit of base coat on my second one, and what I'm going to do on this one, there's a bit there, never mind. I'm going to really burnish a fine glitter in to give a totally different effect. Again, using the base coat because it's extra tacky. So some gel polishes are still tacky, but sometimes they're not just quite enough tacky. So I tend to use base coat.
Pretty colours.
I keep all my glitters in these tubs to save me pulling out lots of little ones. I've got way too many glitters.
Can never have too many glitters.
Oh, loads and loads of glitters.
Very pretty colours.
So I'm using pink because my 9-year-old chose pink tonight. So just put a bit of tissue down. Okay. Right, so working on the second one now. and I'm choosing a fine one, a fine glitter, and you're really brushing it in, really burnish that into the tacky coat. Okay, so it gives off a totally different effect. Okay, with my base coat again. It doesn't get too thick or anything, in case any of you are wondering if it gets too thick. If you do nice thin layers, remember to wipe in my brush. If you do nice thin layers, it keeps the nails nice and thin. And it cures better too. Sometimes people put glitter on too thick or anything, and it can look chunky, bulky, can peel, and that's basically because it's too thick. You know, keep it nice and thin. You're better off doing 3 thin layers than 1 or 2 thick layers. If anyone's got any questions, shout out for me. Okay, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm not just patting it in, I'm really burnishing it in. You could even use your finger. That bit doesn't want to cover, but never mind. So it gives a totally different effect to just ordinary glitter. See, I'm not totally happy with that, so I'm just going to give that another cover. With my base coat. I tend to keep a base coat and a top coat separate, purely just for using glitter with. So I tend to mark the tops of the bottles with a glitter. Can you see that? Right, so I put glitter on the top of the bottle. That tells me that I'm using that one for glitter. So yeah, so I have 2 base coats and 2 top coats on the go. So I don't contaminate my polishes. There's nothing worse than doing a nice plain colour and then a bit of glitter coming out of the bottle when you're top coating it. Okay. Here you go, nice, thin, even coverage. That's what you're looking for. And then you can top coat. So the burnishing doesn't work so well with the chunky glitters. That's why I showed you the other way with the chunky. Okay. Let's put that in. Clean your brush. Use my hand again. Okay. As I say, this is really simple stuff. If there's anything you want me to do on other nights, let me know. Just fold my tissue over. Get rid of the glitter. Okay, so that's those 2. Right, so next you can make your own glitter polishes, which is really simple. different top coat. That one's nearly run out. So a bit of foil. I'm using a candle holder. Whatever you use as a palette. Put a bit of your top coat on, and then with a brush, okay, so I'm using a cuticle pusher, and I'm gonna scoop out some glitter. You can always add more glitter or more top coat and then just mix them together. It's as simple as that. So if you can't be bothered to go with all the burnishing or the patting or anything, but your customer's chosen a loose glitter, you can just make it up into a polish and paint it on, which is really simple. And you can make it as fine or as dense as you want, and then you just, can you see?
Yep.
And then you just paint it on. You see? Okay, I'll put that in. You're all very quiet tonight. Do any of you use tongue-tied, use loose glitter? I got through so much glitter. My customers absolutely love it. Right, so you could leave it at one coat, but you know, I'm just going to put a second coat on to give it more coverage. Again, if you wanted a thicker coverage, you could have put slightly more glitter in, but bear in mind when you're doing it this way, just to cure it just for a tad longer, because you've compromised your top coat, okay, by adding glitter to it. So I always advise just to an extra 10 or 20 seconds more. Okay, I'll put that in. So that's 3 ways of using glitter with gel polish. I'm going to show you next using glitter, encapsulating it with acrylic. If you want me to show you anything else using glitter, shout up and I'll see if I can do that for you. So I just putting stuff away. I'm one of these people that drops stuff and tips stuff. So I have to put stuff away as I use it. My own worst enemy. Okay. Alright, so that's three glitter ways with gel polish. Okay, so the next I'm going to use acrylic, clear acrylic. Okay, and I'm using, can you see that? Trilogy clear. Any clear will do, whatever brand you've chosen to use. Okay, right, so now, so if you're working on a natural finger, ideally you want to put a base down of clear acrylic. So when it comes to removing the glitter, you're only filing down to the clear and not down to the nail. It just protects, but obviously I don't need to do that. Let's just get rid of that glitter. Because I'm working on a tip. So imagine clear base down. You pick up a bit of clear acrylic with your bead. Can you see? And dip it in your glitter. Okay, and then you roll it on. Really, you should start further down. Okay, and then your patting. I should have started slightly further down, but never mind. I'll add a bit on. Right, so keep the patting going on. Which one did I use? This one. Keep the patting going on so it keeps it nice and thin. You know, it's easy to end up with a really chunky nail when using glitter. Normally I do it in 1 or 2 beads, but I'm doing it in a few more just to show you more. Okay, you see, and then I sort of roll my brush so the acrylic ends up touching the nail and the glitter sitting on the top really. Obviously, if you want to make your own glitter acrylic, you can mix clear with whatever glitter you've chosen. So it's 3 parts of acrylic to 1 part glitter. Right, so I've got it's a bit patchy here, so I've just stick my brush in the glitter and I'm just patting it on to make sure it's a bit more even coverage. Remembering all the time to pat. It keeps it nice and thin. No bulky bits. Right, I've got a little patch there that could do with a bit of extra glitter. So I'll just pat a bit more glitter in there. Okay. Normally when I'm doing a set, I'd go on to the next nail and let that set for a bit. Obviously we haven't got a next nail, so then we can encapsulate it with clear acrylic. Okay, so I'm starting about halfway down the nail. You can do it in 1 bead or as many beads as you want really. I tend to use it in about 2. And it's all about the patting. And you're walking it down the nail. Just get another bead and do the same again. Like so. I think it's as quiet as my house has been all night. Everyone's disappeared upstairs.
She's doing her live.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just let that set for a minute and then I'll top coat it so you can see it. That's how you encapsulate glitter. Obviously, the chunkier the glitter, the more patting you need to do. So the most important thing to remember is to pat. Well, I could show you a different way actually. Hang on, I've just remembered. Right, so imagine I've got my base down. So you could do it this way. You could get your clear acrylic, put it straight onto your nail. So you're creating a wet space. Some people might find this way easier. Right, dip your brush in your chosen glitter and then just pat it in. And again, remembering pat, 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 pat. Sounds boring, I know, but it will make all the difference to your nails. Put a bit more in here. I tend to do it in 2 halves because sometimes if you don't work quite fast enough, half of it will go dry and you'd have to end up putting more on. And obviously when you're working with glitter, you're trying to avoid bulk. I've used a slightly chunkier glitter here. See, so now I've got it all in place where I want it, and I'm going over and I'm just patting it all down. So I've got a nice thin sleek nail. And remembering, you see, when you're working on a customer, you don't want to have to file so much that you end up filing the glitter away. Okay, put my clear on the top again. So you're keeping the shape of my nail the whole time. I'm just dragging that last bit down, making sure it's not over the edges. Honestly, if you take the time to correct all your edges and patting, you will have to do next to no filing, which is what you need. They always say do the work with your brush, not with your file. So, and it is so easy to end up with lumpy, bumpy, chunky glitter. It's taking me ages to master it. So there we go. So that was 2 different ways of using the acrylic with glitter. Just going to let them harden for a minute, and then I'll top coat them so you can see. Is there anything else you want me to show you with glitter? So that's me just putting everything away again, sorry. Just give that an extra minute.
Jacqueline says, "Hi Mel, looking great."
Is that Jacqueline Drew?
Yeah.
Hi Jackie. How are you? You're really good at this filming, Lark.
This stand helps a lot. Very pretty colours.
Yes, I've got actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 trays of glitters, and I've got a couple more to.
Daga's watching.
I'm nearly finished now. Okay, I'll whop a bit of top coat on for you just so you can see it comes out lovely and shiny after you've used your clear. Because your customers get sort of worried because it goes a bit cloudy looking, but once you've filed and top coated, it comes.
Jackie says, "Fine, thanks, I love the colours."
Rosie chose the colours tonight. She's like my budding little helper. So that's it. Nobody want me to do anything else? What are you laughing at?
Lee says colour looks great, and yes.
You got no sound on it?
No, we mute it. So it's my husband coming to the room.
And
Okay.
Jackie says great choice, Rosie.
So there's the chunky glitter that we flattened down using a cling film or a nail, back of a nail form. Burnished glitter into gel polish. This one's gel polish with glitter mixed with gel top coat to create our own gel polish. And the last two are encapsulated in acrylic. Once top coated, look just as shiny, depending which way you prefer to work. Obviously, the ones that are encapsulated, more filing when it comes to infills and stuff, but customers do like it. So yeah, so that's it really. Unless anybody's got anything for me to do. Any questions? Apparently I didn't say that last time. My sister told me off. It seems really boring, but they're really basic, and lots of people don't know how to do it.
And everyone loves glitter.
They do. All my customers. I used to think glitter was just for Christmas. It so isn't.
It's for every month.
So yeah, so that's it then. Okay. Well, I'll see you all next week. Ta-da.